Hey there guys, it's Anthony here at Cutting Edge Guitar, and in today's video I'm going to be doing a comparison between my beautiful Ibanez RG550 and this absolutely awesome HM Strat. Let's get right into it. Okay guys, first things first, this HM Strat is not my guitar, this belongs to my luthier. If you haven't seen the video about that, this is up on my channel where I do a total overview of this particular guitar. The 550, the Ibanez, that is my guitar. There is also a video about that particular guitar in depth elsewhere on the channel. If you want to see loads more guitar reviews, lessons, and all sorts of other guitar related content, please do subscribe to the channel, and if you're enjoying the video, smash the like button down below. Okay, so why am I talking about these two guitars in particular? Well, basically I've recently borrowed this particular guitar from my luthier to do some content about it, and realistically this guitar was made to be Fender's answer to what Ibanez started to do. You know, when Steve Vai came around in 1987 with the Gem, and then Ibanez made the RG550, Ibanez were doing some serious damage with the superstrat style guitar, so Fender made this as their answer to it. So if you haven't seen the video that I've done where I talk all about this, I'm just going to do a quick rundown of everything that you get on this right now. So this guitar is Japanese made. It was made at the Fujigen factory, the exact same as my Ibanez, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. It's got Goto tuners, and it's got a very, very thin, very, very fast, flat radius neck, which my luthier, who owns this particular instrument, his name is Rob, ever such a skilled guy, has done an excellent stainless steel refret job on it. Now the stainless steel refret job that we have on here is almost identical to the stainless steel refret job that I have on my RG550, which would make it a really, really cool thing for me to do a comparison between these two. We've basically got a 17-inch radius, thin, fast, flat maple neck with a satiny finish. We've then got, in terms of the hardware, this guitar has a Kahler trem. Now, the Kahler trem that is on this guitar, it actually has a trem stopper in there. Now, the trem stopper, it's not actually stopping me from using the trem, but what Rob has done with it, he's tensioned it to make it quite a stiff trem. Now, the reason he's done that is because he plays a lot of country style stuff, finger picking and all that sort of thing. And when he was resting his right hand on the bridge, he was finding that he was bending strings out of tune, so he wanted to just tension it up a little bit. A player like me, I like it to be a bit loose because I like to use it a bit for my vibrato and bending into notes and all of that sort of thing. But anyway, the Kahler trem, as standard with a Strat, you've got, although this is a HM heavy metal Strat, we've got a volume and two-tone 5-way switch, and then down here we've got a coil splitter, a bit like Ibanez's Dynamics thing that they're doing these days, but basically that coil split will take your humbucker and split it to a single coil. Now, I'm not going to run through all of the sounds of this guitar in this video because I've done that previously on the other video, so if you want to have a look at that, do check that particular video out there. But basically that's what's going on with this guitar. Now, in terms of the body shape, this is the cutaway that you're looking at on this particular guitar. So the upper fret access to your 24 frets, it's okay, it's not too bad. It's not quite as good as, I would say, Ibanez AANJ stuff, the all access neck joint type thing, but even my 550 doesn't have that on there. So let's just switch over to the 550 and just have a quick talk about the stuff that's on that guitar. So I've done loads of videos about this on the channel, so I'm just a super quick run through. Again, made in Japan, made at the Fujigen factory, exactly the same as the HM Strat. On the back here, we've got our Goto tuners. These will be exactly the same tuners that are on the HM Strat. Again, we've got a super fast, super thin, flat neck. We've got Rob's stainless steel refret job. Again, if you want to know loads more about that stuff, make sure you watch the video that I did about this particular guitar. But that stainless steel refret job is just if I was custom building a guitar, I would absolutely have this particular job. This fret wire, the gauge of it, I don't know exactly what the gauge is, but the way I describe it is that you've got not a lot of surface area that way. You've got skinnier, they're not skinny, but they're skinnier frets with a really good peak on them. They're not super tall or any of that stuff. They're not like super jumbo. They're just really, really good. You feel like you've got a really good grip of the frets and everything still. And also, just because of the way they are, it's super, super in tune. These guitars are about as well tuned as you can get without having them special frets that people like Matthias Eklund and Steve Vai have been showing. What are they called? True Temperament, something like that. For standardised frets, I think these would be about as in tune as you could get. So the differences between this and the Strat, hardware-wise, obviously Ibanez make, I say obviously if you're not an Ibanez fan you wouldn't know, but Ibanez make their own bridges. So instead of using something like a Kahler or a Floyd Rose, with this we've got Ibanez's Edge system. We've also got, I've upgraded this guitar. It would originally came with Ibanez's V1s and V2s. I think when I then bought it, it had V7s and V8s. I've upgraded it again so that it's got Dimarzio PAF Pros in both the bridge and the neck. That's because that's something that Paul Gilbert was doing at the time, that I really loved his sound, and I was like, man, I've got to have that sound. So I went for those pickups, and to be quite honest, they're not the best pickups in the world. I just love them, and I love the way that they sound in this guitar, and I don't want to change it, so they're staying. One of the other differences, obviously being Ibanez, we've got a volume and we've got a tone, not that third one. For me, that is so much better. Strats, I'm just like, why do I have three? That's so annoying. 5-way switch, and that's kind of it. So in terms of looking at these two guitars side by side, they are very, very similar. I would say that the Ibanez's upper fret access is better, although if I spin them around, they've both got very blocky heel joints with the sort of cutaways in there that allow you to get into those upper frets. But you can tell that they're very, very similar instrument. In terms of tone woods and everything, we've got basswood, maple necks, and very, very similar kind of components. So what I'm going to do, rather than do a run through of clean sounds, distortion sounds, and all that stuff, I'm going to play these two guitars in their natural home, which is to be just playing them over a modern rock style backing in their natural territory, and then we'll see what they both sound like come back at the end. Here we go. So guys, if you're still watching, there was a little bit of a side-by-side of me playing these two guitars in their, what I would think is their natural territory, right? Modern rock and sort of playing hard rock sort of lead guitar styles and all that sort of stuff. Now I'm going to let you in on a couple of secrets at this point. Those two solos that I've just done, well, it's literally just one recording that I've just sort of just cut it a little bit so that I could cut out the bit where I put this one down and pick up this guitar. But what I've done today, I've literally just walked into my studio, having not played guitar literally all day, and I've had no warm-up, I've had no... Well, I haven't played guitar all day, and I thought, right, what I need to do, I'm just short on time, I need to record these little bits quickly. So I knew that my playing wasn't going to be exactly where I would want it to be on that stuff. The fact of the matter is, I just don't have time to be spending hours and hours and hours getting perfect takes. I've just got to get it done, and I'm teaching again in a little bit. So the thing is with this, I was expecting, because of that situation, for me to be really, really comfortable on the Ibanez because it's my guitar. But, funnily enough, I've had this guitar, the HM Strat, in my possession for a couple of weeks now, and I've been playing this almost exclusively. And the thing that's really funny about it is that this felt really at home for me compared to when I picked my Ibanez up. Which is odd, because I've owned this guitar since I was like 17, 18 or something like that, and I'm now 33. So that is really, really strange, but it goes to show you what can happen when you spend a lot of time with a particular instrument. So things that I would say, observations between the two, although it felt odd picking this up, I do prefer the neck on this guitar. I prefer the neck on this, the Ibanez, to almost anything else that I've ever played. However, the neck on this for a Strat, where usually I'm not a Strat fan at all, I think the neck on this is to die for. It's absolutely awesome. Other things that I would also say is I am not a fan of single coils. Well, I might be a fan of a hot rail in this guitar, but when you flick to the neck position, and realistically I know there'll be people that are watching this video that will go, oh, you didn't do all the tones, you didn't do this, you just go from back pickup to front pickup. But yeah, playing that style of music, you don't really use much else, do you? You're just going to go from back pickup to front pickup. So I would have a hot rail on this guitar, because this to me just sounds... You get a lot of clarity on your single coils, but you just lose the meat that you will have with the humbuckers. So, but I do like the idea of having a hot rail. I think that would sound sick on a guitar like this. I don't know what I would have in there, a Demarcio chopper maybe, something like that, or get an Air Norton, which is normally a humbucker, but you can have that as a single coil. That would sound sick in here, I think. Other things, do you know what? Just holding these two guitars like this, the Ibanez is so light compared to this. This is really heavy compared to the Ibanez. I mean, it's not heavy. I'm not a weakling or anything like that. You know, it's not heavy, but it's heavy compared to the Ibanez. But yeah, like, I think Fender did a really good job with the old HM Strat to sort of combat these two. But anyway, drop me a line in the comments, guys, to let me know what you think to these two guitars. I've had a lot of fun playing this in the past little while. It's a far cry from what I'm used to. I will also say this hasn't converted me to being like a Strat guy. I really like this. If someone gave me one, I'd be really happy, but I'm not going to swap my Ibanez for it, that's for sure. Anyway, really enjoyed making the video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed watching it. Please do give it a like if you've enjoyed watching it. Share it to anyone who you think might enjoy this kind of content, and subscribe, because that will really, really help me out so much. Okay, guys, thanks ever so much for watching. You take care. I'll see you in the next video.